Hello. This is the 6th episode of Born in Quarantine. I've let loose my hair. I'm gonna take off my glasses, practically making myself blind, because today we're gonna go medieval. Batman mug is out, being replaced with this, because today we're gonna go to the medieval times. This is part 1 of 2 of Stronghold games. During the quarantine, one of the things I do a lot is play games because they are fun and I like to have fun. And one of the things that I do and I tend to do is go and play the games that I've played when I was a kid and see if they hold up, because when I was a kid I was an idiot. So I want to see if the games that I thought were good are actually good. I've played quite a few and I would like to do some episodes on some of them. But one big item of the bucket list was Stronghold games. I love strategy games. I love management games. I love all of that. And I think one of the reasons I love all of that is because of the Stronghold games. I played Stronghold Crusader, Stronghold 2 and Stronghold Legend when I was very small, and I loved them. I loved their world. I loved playing them. I loved their mechanics. I loved everything about them. And so when quarantine came, I said, well, let's go fill in the gaps, and also let's see if what I thought was actually good. So yeah, let's go talk about Stronghold 1. To be perfectly honest, I didn't even know we had a Stronghold 1, because usually I thought a Stronghold Crusader was a Stronghold 1. But apparently there is a Stronghold 1 and I never played it until the quarantine. And honestly, and I'm trying to be very diplomatic about it because I know a lot of people probably have good memories of this game, I don't think it aged that gracefully.
Archers, ready! Can't target him, sir.
I don't mean the graphics. The graphics are okay-ish for the time. I mean, I've seen worse. I mean, the whole game feels incredibly dated and it just feels old, which is not a good thing about a game. Even if it is, old, some games just feel timeless. I've played the movies many times throughout the years, and it just keeps bringing me back. I can't say the same thing for Stronghold 1 though. The story is laughable. I mean, Stronghold is not known for its story, but the story in Stronghold 1 is just god awful.
They have taken out half a dozen patrols and are actually invading one of my counties. What am I supposed to do now?
The missions do have a weird difficulty spike, there are here, then the boom. I just couldn't play past this one mission. And it just feels clunky to play. I mean, I'm not having fun when I'm playing it. With that said, I can see a lot of the things about the next Stronghold games that I like started here. The proximity issue, you need to be careful where you put your granary if you want your people to be well fed, because it takes time from the farmer to go from the farm to the granary, which if you are not very familiar with these kinds of game, Settlers and Stronghold, it will screw you.
Our food stocks are dwindling, my liege.
There is the little details that are in later Stronghold games too, like the wife with a child that when you place a house, she just appears.
Policy of no taxes is the least we could expect.
There is a lot of little details, and I love little details. One of my favorite games is Black and White 2, and that's just details. The game itself is nothing but those little details. So yeah, there is good things in it, but I don't really see it being anything more than the start of the franchise. It's not very good. It hasn't aged well. But if there is one good thing that came out of it, was Stronghold Crusader. Now, Crusader I have a lot of fond memories of. But I really don't like it either, now that I'm replaying it. Mainly because it doesn't have a story, and one of the fun aspects of a Stronghold is the building stuff. You know, it's not just a war simulator, it's a kingdom management. You need to build and you need to attack and defend your country. Yet, Crusader is all about the war. I think it's expansion on Stronghold 1. I don't know why it's a different game. It doesn't have a story. It's using the same mechanics. It's using the same graphics. It's using the same everything. Why is it a different game? So yeah, it's more about war, but I have to give it props. It does war very good. The game feels very upbeat, and when you're in a battle, it just feels like, well, you're in a battle. You know, you attack and you need to have troops ready, reserve troops ready, and you need to be ready for the tides of war to change in 1 second. I'd wish if there was a story, probably tell the story of the Third Crusade. I mean, if Ridley Scott can do it, you can do it too. Probably give it a little more management aspect rather than just, well, spam troops and attack. But it is a fun game. It's energetic. You know, when you're playing it, you just can't do anything else because you need to be in that zone. Stronghold 1 didn't have that. Stronghold 1 you could sit back and relax until the computer decided, well, I'm gonna attack. But here the computer is very aggressive and...
A message from the king.
Watch your back, knight! Watch your back!
But yeah, Stronghold Crusader, I am a bit nostalgic about it, but now that I'm replaying it, I don't really like it, let's say. It's fun if you want to spend like 4 or 5 hours just being in an endless war and having fun, bashing your enemy and seeing people just burst on fire. Then definitely give it a try. And it is easy to get into it. Like, there is no wall that you need to know or tricks that you need to know. You just go into it and there are many different ways you can win the war. With that said, let's go to the big one. My favorite of the bunch, actually. Stronghold 2. I need to be perfectly honest. I don't know, I may be looking at it just from nostalgia because I had a lot of fun playing it when I was a kid, but I just love a Stronghold 2. I think it holds up in the terms of story and campaign because it has the best one.
The king? No. Barclay does not hold him. Maybe the rumors are true. William, what if he really has fled?
Excluding Legend. Legend is just bonkers. But we'll talk about that in the next episode. But Stronghold 2 seems to have a good story. It has characters for one, you know. Granted, they are not well written or, well, nothing more than a one-dimensional trait. You know, you have Edwin. Guess what? He's the traitor. He's the rat. In Stronghold 1, he was literally called the rat. They just gave him a new name, a new coat, and just exported the character. But the fact is, I remember the name, Edwin. I don't remember the rat's name. I just know he called the rat. You have Barclay, the hammer. You have Olaf, the Viking guy. You have Sir Grey, my favorite character.
Sir Grey spends most of his time sleeping.
And you have Sir William. And your character has a name too, Sir Matthew Steele.
Well, if it is not young Matthew Steele, I do believe you have grown since we last met.
The story isn't big. There are so many better stories in strategy games, but it's serviceable and it's good enough that you remember some of it.
Sir William often spoke of our cause. In truth, with the king dead or fled abroad, I know not the purpose of our fight.
And it is a game of details again. There are so many little things that you need to remember. The management aspect in Stronghold 2 is just off the rails. There are so many things you need to take care of in your kingdom if you're playing it right. There are rats, there are criminals, there are gang, there's just everything in this world, and you need to take care of all of that. But yeah, the management aspect in Stronghold 2 is just amazing. You need to take care of so many stuff. For good or bad, I like that. I like to feel that I'm really managing a county and I'm lord of this land. I am a knight. It means something to be knighted in Stronghold 2. And Stronghold 2 introduced regions, which Stronghold 1 and Crusader didn't have. They have just a map and you build wherever you want. In Stronghold 2, you have regions, which I like because you can buy like states and have them just produce apple and send it to you. And I just feel like I'm lord of a land when I'm in Stronghold 2. It feels more medieval and I like that. One of my friends mentioned the graphics, and he is a couple of years older than me, and for him the isometric graphics of Stronghold Crusader is more pleasing. For me, the early 3D graphics of Stronghold 2 is more pleasing. And yeah, the graphics doesn't hold up. I accept that. They have this like cup hands, Lego hands. I used to make fun of GTA because GTA Vice City used to have that kind of hands. We called it rheumatism hands. Yet I don't know, I feel a kind of fondness to them, to these kind of hands and moving like this.
Shortly, you will be meeting your first employee, Tom Simpkins, the scribe. May he serve you well.
It brings a little bit of joy to my heart. It's nostalgia. It's probably nostalgia. There is nothing more than that. Why would moving like this bring joy to anyone? Nostalgia. But I do believe objectively Stronghold 2 is better than Stronghold 1. The battles are not as fun though, which is you get something but you give something. In Crusader you have more fun, initiating a battle and having a war. In Stronghold 2, you sit back and you plan and you plan and you build an army and you go and you fight and it's over. It's not as fun, it's not as high energy, it feels slower, it feels, more medieval. I imagine Stronghold 2 is probably more in line with how wars were back then. So yeah, it's not as fun to siege in Stronghold 2, which is weird because it has a mode for sieges, but it is fun to manage stuff and it is fun to just play as the lord of the land. The first 3 games in the Stronghold series, I think they started pretty bad but ended up very high, because Stronghold 1, I don't know, it doesn't hold up for me. Crusader, I have a lot of fond memories but I don't like playing it now. 2 I love, I still play, I finished the campaign and I'm doing it again, and I'm doing the peace campaign now, which is a lot of just managing stuff, which is fun. I love managing stuff. But yeah, I can see why the series is kind of popular, at least among those who love strategy games, me included. Stronghold Crusader gives you war experience and Stronghold 2 gives you peace experience. Well, if that worked, if this worked, If those worked, I am literally blind without my glasses, so I'm hoping that's my computer and not some killer wearing a computer mask. But if all of them worked, we'll see you on the next episode.